Right lads, it's just a video here now where I'm going to give you my Premier League predictions for the season. 20th place to first place. Starting now in 1 second. Right, here we go. 20th to first, we're starting with 20th place. And 20th place, I think it's going to be Cardiff. Cardiff were newly promoted to the Premier League this season. And Ian Holloway is their manager. Neil Warnock is their manager, and I don't think Neil Warnock could have the experience to keep them in the Prem. He was relegated. He got Sheffield when United relegated all them years ago, back in 2007, I think it was. I don't think he has the experience to keep. I think Cardiff 20th. In 19th, unfortunately for Huddersfield Town, I think it's going to be Huddersfield. Huddersfield did the unthinkable last year by staying in the Premier League and getting a pint at the Etihad and going in and getting a pint at the Bridge in London, in Stamford Bridge, winning against United. They did the unthinkable last year. Magnificent achievement for them last year, staying up. Unfortunately, this year I think is where it's going to end. I think they're going back to the Championship. Last relegation place is up for grabs, and it's going to be, I think myself, this year, it's going to be Watford. I think is going to be relegated. In 18th, I think it's going to be Watford. I think Watford will be relegated in 18th place. In 17th, just above the dreaded line, where you can plan another season in the Premier League, I think myself it's going to be Newcastle United, just surviving. In 16th, I think it's going to be as it is now, which will be Southampton. In 15th, I think it's going to be Fulham. I really fancy Fulham to stay in the Premier League. I really fancy Fulham to stay in the Premier League, and I really fancy Fulham to do quite well in the Premier League, and I think they will. I think they'll finish 15th, which will be a magnificent achievement for Fulham. In 14th, I think it's going to be Crystal Palace, the Eagles. They're a different beast, aren't they? They're good. They're great. Under Roy Hodgson, who no one gave them a chance when he came in, they had lost their first 7 games, hadn't scored a goal, hadn't got a point. Were magnificent to stay in the Premier League after that. I think they will finish 14th. Be a brilliant season for them. 14th. In 13th, I think it's going to be Brighton. As I think Brighton will finish 13th. I think they'll have another season in the Prem along with Newcastle. So, and that'll be another brilliant season for them. 13th and another season in the Prem. And that's that one. In 12th place, I think it's going to be Burnley. I think Burnley will finish 12th. I think Burnley are going to have a bit of a disappointing campaign, considering their European campaign they're going to have for the first time, and they're going to have European football in a long time, and I think Burnley will finish 12th. 11th, I think, will be West Ham United. I think that'll be a great season for West Ham and Manuel Pellegrini in his first season. I think that's going to be a brilliant season for them. Manuel Pellegrini at the home of West Ham now with Pablo Zabaleta, and you might see Chicharito given a bit more time because Pellegrini does like strikers like that on that mould. West Ham will finish 11th. In 10th place, I'm going to say Bournemouth. Yes, I think Bournemouth will finish 10th. I like Bournemouth. They're a good little club. Nice little small family club and everything about them. Their ground is nice, everything about them is a nice club. And I'm going to go Bournemouth to finish 10th. In 9th, now this is going to shock a few people. For me, I'm going to say Wolverhampton Wanderers, which is Wolves. I expect Wolves to do a good bit in this Premier League this year. Wolves are going to surprise a good few people with how good of style of football they play. Wolves play brilliant football. They played the best football in the Championship, rightly promoted as champions. And I do fancy Wolves to finish 9th. I don't think they'll challenge the top 4, the top 6, top 7, but I do think they will finish 9th. They could even finish 8th, but I'm giving them 9th place. In 8th place, I am going with Leicester City. Jamie Vardy will be there. Riyad Mahrez is leaving them, and that could make a huge difference to them between keeping Riyad Mahrez and selling Riyad Mahrez and finishing higher than that. But I think 8th place is good for Leicester, and then they're going to consolidate the season in the Premier League with 8th place. In 7th, I think Everton are going to have a bit of an improvement, and I think Everton will finish 7th. Considering their disappointing season last year when Ronald Koeman was sacked, they could have been relegated if they had kept him, which I don't think they would have been. I think Ronald Koeman would have got it right, and I think Ronald Koeman should have been given more time, in my opinion. But they didn't. They brought in Sam Allardyce. Now they have Marco Silva, who they tried to get last January, and they didn't get him, and now they have him, and hopefully he'll do well with Everton. Not really, because I don't like Scousers. In 6th place, unfortunately, it's going to be Arsenal again. Sorry, Arsenal, no more improvement for you under Uremne, under Enrique. You're going to still finish 7th. You're still going to finish 6th, sorry, not 7th. And yeah, it's still 6th. And in 5th place this year, now people are going to say I'm deluded when I say 5th, and I'm going to say Liverpool to finish 5th. I think Liverpool will miss out on the top 4 this year, and I'm going to say Liverpool finishing 5th. That's just my opinion on that one, Liverpool 5th. I like who Liverpool have signed in Fabinho and Naby Keita, but I still think they're a midfielder short. I still think they're a defender short, and I still think they're a goalkeeper short and a striker short and a right back. So if you're looking at it in that way, they're still 1, 2, 3. There's still 5 players short of going for a proper challenge to try and extend higher than 4th. In 4th place, I think it's going to be an improvement for Chelsea, and I think Chelsea will be 4th. I think Chelsea will finish 4th. I think it's going to be an improvement for them, and I think they will be 4th this year. 3rd place is going to be a drop for Man United. They are going to finish 3rd. And I think it'll be a good season for Mourinho, 3rd place, and hopefully the Basques will get the sack after that. And then in 2nd place, it's going to be Tottenham Hotspurs. Tottenham Hotspurs to finish 2nd and have a great season, have a better season than what they had last year, and maybe might win the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup. Just might get their hands on a piece of silverware. And in 1st place, it's going to be Manchester City for me. We will retain the league at a canter, and I reckon we will win it by 21 points this year. We are going to be better than we were last year. And that's been the Premier League predictions, guys. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. It's been Big Brian Quinn. And you know what to do, subscribe below.